What's going on, guys? Welcome to another video. The purpose of today's video is to talk to you guys about DEP calls as well as DEP check-in. Now, if any of you watched my last video, you know that I was explaining DEP. The DEP is the delayed entry program. For those of you who haven't seen that video, if you have, I recommend you go check it out. So let's get started. First and foremost, DEP check-in. What DEP check-in is basically every single week that you are in the DEP, you will have to check in a minimum of once with your recruiter. I believe that is the bare minimum. I know that for me, it's every Monday. What all happens at the DEP check-in is you meet your recruiter, usually at their office. You get it real quick, height and weight. They take your height, they take your weight. They make sure that you are still meeting the physical standards to enter the Air Force or the military for that matter. In the previous video, I explained that recruiters more than likely want you to be a minimum of 10 pounds under your maximum weight. So let's say your maximum weight is mine, which is 170. Your goal should be 160 pounds. So I know when I went to MEPS the second time, if you watch those videos as well, you know that I weighed in, the day I swore into DEP, I weighed in at 164. So I was not 10 pounds under my maximum weight. I was 6 pounds under, so I was okay. My recruiter still wanted me to lose more weight. Hence the weekly check-ins. Every week that you check in, you should be lighter and lighter. Now be safe about it, play it well. If you can afford to lose more weight than other people, you should know that. Just lose weight at a safe manner and at a safe pace. Don't hurt yourself. Again, you don't want to get DEP discharged. So I know I was losing about a pound to a pound and a half a week, which for me, that's honestly not that hard to do. When I was initially trying to enlist and I was still overweight, I couldn't even go to MEPS. I was losing about 3 to 4 pounds a week. So doing 1.5 pounds during the DEP was cake. Another thing that happens during DEP check-ins is you will go through this paperwork. You will be getting a base clearance form, which is a form for you to list people that you want to get base clearance for your graduation. For that, you need their full legal name, you need their driver's license number or their state ID number, and you need their date of birth. You can list up to 10 people on this paper, but keep in mind, if you list someone who already has base clearance, for example, a family member that's already in the military, or a family member that's a veteran that still has their CAC, their common access card, they don't count towards your 10, so don't put them on your list. I know I only listed 5 people, but I'm expecting a 6th person, but he was in the Army for, I believe, 8 years or something of the sort, 8 or 10, and so he has his veteran CAC card, so he already has base clearance. He doesn't need to be on that list. Keep that in mind. You can technically have more than 10 people come to your graduation, but only 10 can be, basically you can only get 10 clearances. Different sheet that you will sign is your direct deposit form. Now your direct deposit form is a hard copy. I know most jobs now do it electronically where you can fill it out on the computer. The military is different. It's a sheet of paper. If you're a little old school or you have done that before, I've done it before for a job, then you know what I'm talking about. You fill it out on a sheet of paper. It's not that hard. Pencil, whatever. Just make sure that your routing number and your bank account number are correct. You don't want to go through basic, come out and be squared out 0 because you accidentally put a 1 instead of a 7. So write legibly, fill that out and you should be good to go. Another thing during DEP is you do get a freebie bag. That's pretty nice. I know I got a backpack. I actually have it with me right now. It just came from the gym. Air Force backpack is pretty sweet. I got that. I got a water bottle, which I have no idea where I left. I have a portfolio, which you guys have seen in one of the videos. I got some pens. I got some stickers, a coffee mug, I believe a lanyard, just a bunch of Air Force stuff. It was pretty cool. I gave a lot of it to my family. I think I got like a little squishy stress ball. I gave it to my little sisters. Pretty cool. It's just a bunch of free stuff, who doesn't like free stuff? That's about it for DEP check-in. Now, DEP calls. DEP calls or DEP CC or DEP commander's call, there's like a bunch of different names for it. Those are a minimum of once a month, but they are a meeting where your recruiter gathers everybody that are in his DEP list or DEP flight, and you meet up. Now, I've heard rumors that some recruiters take people out to eat. Yeah, I've heard rumors that some recruiters take people out to eat. I don't know why that'd be a good idea if you're trying to get them to lose weight. No, for mine, I've only had 2, and both of them have been very, very different. My first DEP call was in May. I think it was May 17th. I'm still not sure about that date. If it's not right, then I'll just put it right here. My first DEP call was special because it was a baseball game. Now, I live in Bellevue, but my recruiter does recruiting for Bellevue, Omaha, and I believe Gretna-ish. So we had an event. Omaha, for those of you who don't know, it's in Nebraska. It's actually a city, and we host the College World Series baseball every single year. So what happened for this DEP call is we were given free tickets to the College World Series opening game. Not gonna lie, that was pretty cool. They have a new ballpark that was built like 5 years ago by TD Ameritrade, and we got free passes. We didn't have to pay a single thing. Families were allowed to come. I know I went, my parents went, and both of my younger siblings went, which that was awesome because we didn't pay a single thing for entrance, that is. Obviously, if you want to get food at the stadium, that you have to pay for yourself, but still, free seats to a College World Series game, that's awesome. What we did at that DEP call is we had a little swear-in ceremony at halftime. There was an officer of the Navy there, and he basically did our swear-in statement, basically the same one that we did at MEPS, swearing to the DEP. We went ahead and did again. And so the reason that the DEP call was there and the reason my recruiter was pushing it so much is because he wanted Air Force representation, which I believe we were actually the branch that showed the most representation, which was awesome. So we went, we swore in, and that was that. After that, mostly everybody left. If you wanted to stay, you could, but either way, free game, you know, it was nice. It was a good time. My second DEP call was just like 2 days ago on June 20th. That one was a lot different. We made it to the office, everybody weighed in, we sat down, we had a guest speaker. It was a sergeant from Miami, Florida, and he was talking to us about his experience. He said he was a POL, which is a fuels job, I believe, like petroleum and I don't know, other liquids. Probably not what it stands for, but he was a POL. He was talking to us about his experience, and he has worked in he worked here at Offutt for about 3 years. Then he went to, I believe, Turkey, and he was just PCSing, which is permanent change of station, in the process of PCSing over to Germany, which is pretty sweet. I know one of my dreams is to travel when I'm in the Air Force, and hopefully I get stationed somewhere, you know, overseas. That's what I want, but we'll see. He talked to us for a bit and asked about our hobbies, what we like to do, and then from there, he told us what different opportunities the Air Force actually offered for our different hobbies. After that, we went outside my recruiter's office, and we did a mock PT test. Warm-up stretches, obviously, if you don't know, military warm-up stretches, you can look them up online. They're basic stretches. And we did a mock PT test, which for the Air Force is a 1.5 mile run, as many push-ups as you can do in 1 minute, as many sit-ups as you can do in 1 minute. Now we did that, and I know I maxed out my push-ups, I maxed out my sit-ups, but my run was a little weak in my opinion. I still passed, but personally I like to get quicker. For those of you who are curious, I got an 11:17, so I ran 1.5 miles in 11 minutes and 17 seconds, but I think and know that I can do better. After that, we did some cool down stretches. We went inside and we looked at the fitness standard chart, which from there we accumulated our points and found out whether or not we passed and where we placed, like what our total score was afterwards. I was happy with mine, but again, I still think I could do better. Everybody has different goals. I just really like pushing myself, so that's why I say I think I can do better. And after that, we really just went home. My recruiter dismissed us, and he said if anybody had any extra questions, they could stay behind, which I thought was sweet, because I actually had a question. So I stayed behind, I talked with him, and he cleared my question up. And yeah, that's all that my DEP calls were. So again, just because my DEP calls were like that, you know, the first one was pretty lucky with the ball game, but just because my DEP calls were that doesn't mean that yours will run exactly the same. Again, I've heard some recruiters take people out to eat, which, you know, that's their choice. But overall, just know that you're gonna meet your recruiter at least once a month, and you're gonna have to do check-ins weekly. That's about wraps it up for this video, guys. Hope you guys are continuing to enjoy this. Remember that I leave June 25th, which is now in 3 days. Wish me luck. Try to roll out maybe another 1 or 2 videos before I'm out of here, and I'll see you guys next time. Peace.